What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Taville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, Oleksandr Usyk. The results are in, and let's begin. Okay, we have Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. As you guys can see, Tyson Fury's coming in. He looks like he's been training. He looks rather big, to be honest with you. You know, we have this picture and then this other picture here with himself, by himself, okay? And I'm looking at him now. You can always see the Forever Love handles on him. He looks a lot bigger. I'm just going to keep it a buck. He looks a lot bigger than, than before, okay? Now, anything that tells us that he may be trying to initiate a different type of attack, which may be helpful, maybe not helpful. Okay, so, but then we switch over to Oleksandr Usyk, and as you can tell for Usyk, looking trim, looking slim, looking like he's getting it in. He doesn't really look any different than he did from the last fight, to be fair. He looks like he's been training as usual. So, with Usyk, it's hard to train. It's hard to tell because he's a guy that came from a lower weight class. So, there's nothing abnormal about Oleksandr Usyk. And of course, Usyk, it's hard to tell anywhere. He's praising God, I believe, right? Or doing a very glorified backstretch, but these guys look like they're ready. Appearance is something totally different. Tyson Fury, just because he looks a certain way doesn't mean he can't perform a certain way. Because if we look back in 2018, he looked like his stomach looked like a balled up piece of homework, right? But nonetheless, he still got the job done by outboxing Wilder. 8 or 9 rounds out of 12. So he did a good job. So that could be very deceiving. Now, I look at Oleksandr Usyk, though, as a guy that, business as usual. I think, Tyson Fury is something. He's a guy that lost in this first saga, this first leg. So he has a lot to prove. Well, at what point do you think that Oleksandr Usyk will give him slack? What changes will Tyson the Gypsy King Fury have? You know what I mean? And back to his size, I think he's heavier. He looks heavier. And I think because he looks heavier, he's going to spend less time trying to box. But I think he's going to spend some of those times boxing. Okay, like he says, he's a slick counterpuncher. He's saying that, he's bragging on that simply based off the fact that he wants people to understand that, hey, he can also box, and Usyk won't be the only one that's going to be boxing in that ring. Okay, so he's just keeping it a buck. But I think that if anything, if anything at all, this fight is going to show who can adjust. This fight is going to show, can Tyson adjust? What will Tyson do? Will Tyson use the same structured technique, routine, approach? What will he do in this fight that gives him the edge? Because, see, even if, like he says, which I don't believe, but then again, I don't know. He says, well, all I got to do is not get caught like I did in the 9th round, and, I could almost win the fight, right? That's what he said. That's what the things that he mentioned, he brought up. But then again, it's like, well, keep in mind, Tyson, you did get caught. So you have to really be careful. And if you get caught, you can get caught in the next fight. This is not Andy Ruiz just catching Joshua with one shot and crippling him throughout the whole entire fight. No, this is a guy that was just able to catch you at will and, catch you with those perfect timed counters and hurt you, and break you down round after round. So, it's hard to say. Usyk looks better, but again, the appearance doesn't really mean everything. You know what I mean? Because Tyson Fury may be working on something that works for Tyson Fury. You understand? So I think if Tyson in his game plan, if he uses the Crunk style, he may be able to do certain things in there. But keep in mind, Big John Fury is still there. He's still around, and he's still, making his presence known that he's going to be around. For the record, I will say that I am disappointed in Sugar Hill Stewart simply based off the fact that, he still allows him to be around, because I would have had something I would have had something to say about that, honestly. If the things you said about me, you wouldn't have said those things about me and still be around me trying to help me, with your son. You wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't be a hindrance, because that's annoying, someone talking about you, and you know what I mean? And then you having to look at this guy say contradicting things, right? Or possible contradicting things around me as I'm trying to instruct my fighter that hired me to help him, So that's one thing about it. I just got to let people know that, how I feel about that Sugar Hill John Fury thing. But speaking of John states that he does not think that the Crunk's gym is right for Oleksandr Usyk, and ultimately that probably would cost him the win, because he felt that he had to box more than sit down on his punches more. Maybe if he sat down on his punches more, maybe if he did certain things like this, maybe those shots may be more impactful and effective for Tyson the Gypsy King. You see what I mean? So I think him just bouncing on his toes, throwing those shots here and there instead of sitting down on those shots and catching Usyk when he comes inside, and just timing Usyk with shots where he's properly sitting down and throwing these punches, with authority, that may be the key. But we will see. You guys tell me what you think of the two comparisons between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. Tell me who you think is more in shape, who's more ready. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.